As a raver, would you date somebody that isn't a raver? I have been raving for 12 years, and of those 12 years, 4 of which were spent with a rave bae. We used to go to all the shows and festivals together, and we would say all the time, couples that rave together stay together. We didn't. And at this point, I've been raving much longer without him than I did with him. I'm here to share my experience of what it was like having a rave bae and doing all of festivals and shows with somebody by my side, and then what it's like being a single woman in the rave scene. Me and my ex, we were together for 4.5 years, and we pretty much started raving together. I had went to 2 events without him. By my 3rd event, which was EDC Vegas in 2013, that was our first event together. That just like catapulted our relationship into the depths of EDM, and we fell mad hard and fast with each other and into the rave scene. And it was really amazing. I honestly didn't think that I would stay raving as long as I did, and he was the one that just kind of kept pushing me through it. After my first EDC together, I was like, this is amazing, but I don't know if I'll come back. And he's the reason why like we kept going back year after year. He was also the reason that I started going to out-of-state festivals. I'm from Texas, so we would just do a bunch of Disco Donnie events and local events, and he was the one that said like, let's go to EDC New York, and let's go to EDC Orlando, let's go to Beyond Wonderland in California. So that's what we did. I don't know if I ever would have came to that on my own or maybe eventually, but because of him, he's the one that pushed me out of the local scene and opened up my horizons. When we broke up, I thought my world was over. I thought my EDM world was over, especially just because that's something that we did so closely together that it made it very difficult for me to even listen to the music. Like I stopped listening to electronic music altogether. Like a song would come on and I would just immediately start crying, and I honestly thought that I would never go to another festival or rave or event ever again, just because like I couldn't handle it. And during that time, like everything happens for a reason, right? Like because I wasn't listening or could not even handle physically, mentally listen to EDM, that's when I started listening to reggaeton, and I still listen to reggaeton. I didn't know if I could ever rave without him again. Initially, that was my first thought, like, oh my god, how could I ever do this without him again? Like we did this together, like we discovered this whole scene, like what am I gonna do? I had to take a break for a few months, and then I was like, let me give it a shot. Like I love this music so much, I love this scene so much, like I can't let this go just because me and this person don't share it with each other anymore. At the time, like I didn't realize like me and this person breaking up was gonna be the best thing that had ever happened to me. When you're in the midst of something, when you're in the trenches and you're heartbroken or sad or destroyed, like you think like that your life is over. Everything happens for a reason. Rejection is redirection, truly is. Like me and that guy breaking up truly was the start of my life. It really was. Big thing that I got out of it was that I started having to go to festivals alone. So I did have friends, but for a while, the friends that I had in the scene, they were just kind of growing out of it. They'd rather spend their money on other things. And so at one point, like it was just me and my ex going to all these events together. Once we broke up, I was like, who am I going to go to these events with? Like nobody wanted to go to the out-of-state events because they just didn't want to spend the money on it. So that forced me to get out there and start going to events on my own. So that's where my solo journey started of traveling and going to music festivals by myself. My first one was Shaky Beats in Atlanta in 2018. That just kind of catapulted and turned me into the woman that I am today. Like just changed my life so significantly. Me going to that festival was amazing, and within 20 minutes of being there, like I made a whole group of friends that also led me to really just traveling alone. I started traveling globally. Like that's just not something that he was interested in doing. That just has transformed me into the amazing lady, the strong, independent baddie that I am today. And it's been really fun solo raving as a single woman. Throughout the years, I always said, if my person is not a raver, then we shouldn't be together, because I just wholeheartedly believed that as a raver, I should also be with another raver. Like this just consumes so much of my life, going to raves, festivals, events, that I need somebody to also do this with me, just to have with me through it all, because like I've had that rave love before and I wanted it again, just with somebody else, right? So that's what I always thought these last couple of years, is that I need a rave bae. because I'm a raver. However, the older that I've gotten, I'm 34 now, my thoughts on the subject are changing. My thoughts and feelings on me having a rave partner are just slowly shifting for a number of reasons. One of the biggest things is that I am a sober raver. I talked about this in my last video. You could go watch that. I take a lot of breaks from drinking, so I'm not consistently drinking, and then I'm just not on drugs at all. No drugs. I don't even smoke weed, like the easiest, simplest, harmless drug. Like, I don't do anything. I'm starting to realize, like, I don't want that in a partner either. Like, at one point I didn't mind, and like my ex still did stuff when I stopped doing drugs, and the boys that I've met in the scene throughout the years, they're always on some type of thing, right? And I just didn't care, but now I do, and that's just not something that I want in a partner. And I get it. I'm sober, and so I know that there are other sober men out there, right? I'm not that damn unique, okay? I know that there are sober men out there, but I've yet to meet them. Every single guy I meet in the rave scene still actively participates in some type of substance. And I don't really care about the alcohol. Like, me choosing to take breaks here and there isn't a big deal, but if you're still actively using any type of substance, like, that's a turnoff for me. Like, I just don't like that. My priorities have just also shifted. Yes, I love raving and going to music festivals and going to shows. However, my priorities are shifting on where I want to spend my money. I don't want to keep going to EDC every year or festival after festival that I've already been to. I want to go to, if it's in America, I want to go to festivals I've never been to before. Like, I've never done Movement in Detroit. I want to go there in 2025. And aside from American festivals, like, I just want to be out in the world. I have traveled so much over the last 6 years of my life, being on 6 of the 7 continents, going to music festivals in Latin America, in Asia, in Europe. Like, I want to keep getting out there. So my priorities have just shifted more, and it's like, I think I would rather have like a traveler than I would a raver. Like, traveling is more important to me. Like, I'd rather have somebody that has traveled and has a passport than somebody that like doesn't rave. And again, I know that you can have both. I exist, so somebody else out there exists. I am a traveling raver, so I'm a traveling sober raver, so I'm sure there's another traveling sober male out there, right? But I've yet to meet that person. I realize, like, raving isn't the most important thing in a partner. So I think I'm shifting more towards, like, yeah, it would be great to meet somebody that is a raver, but like, what I'm looking more for and what I'm attracted to is like a little bit of like an older man. I'm 34. I'm more attracted to like the men that are like in their 40s, a little bit more settled down, have had like these worldly experiences that aren't still leaving me on the dance floor to go rip lines in the bathroom. So I've had that experience before. So yeah, just somebody a little bit older, and that's just what I'm attracted to. That's just what I like. Again, not saying that I can't find that in the rave world, but I've yet to meet that person. Still open to it, but if you are or aren't a raver, that's not the end all be all anymore and what I'm looking for in a man. I see other couples that rave together and do everything together, but then I also see and know that there are ravers in this world where their partners aren't in the rave world, and both work just fine. So like, I know that if I meet a man that doesn't rave, like, I'm gonna be just fine, that we can absolutely make this work. And as long as like you're supportive of me and encourage me to still keep doing what I'm doing and don't think that what I'm doing, what I'm wearing, first of all, I would never be with somebody like that, but that just understands what I'm doing, doesn't try to take that away from me or just try to change me, that we can absolutely do it. I can have a partner and raving's not your thing, but as long as you support me and let me go do my thing on the weekends or travel for it, cool. And if you don't want to go, that's fine. I know that it can work because I've seen it happen, but I also see the rave couples. Some of my best friends, like the crazy rave chick, she's married, her and her husband, her husband's the reason that got her into raving. They've been doing this forever. Or my other friends, Ian and Ashley, her name is That Rave Couple, and it's so beautiful to see them. I have had that rave love before, so like, I know how special it can be. What I can say about raving in a relationship is that like, you always have that one person to go with you to every event. It's like, you don't even have to think about it. Like, I want to go there, or I want to go to this festival, I want to go to this event, and this person's coming with me. Like, it's just a given, right? You're sharing what you love so much with somebody that you love so much. Like, it really is special just being in the crowd, listening to your favorite music, having your rave bass stand behind you and hold you. Like, oh my God. I remember those feelings, and it really is special. There were some like drawbacks to it because we both wanted to go to things all the time. Like, it was exhausting constantly going to festivals and events and traveling just because we were both down to do it. Like, that's just all we did, okay? Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it just kind of got exhausting having two people constantly always want to go to something. And the things about single raving, which I have much more experience in at this point, just because I've been raving longer single than I have with a partner. The things that I love about it is, like, I have to make no compromises. I can do whatever I want. I can pick and choose the events that I want. Even when I am at a festival, like, I can only listen to my music and do my thing. I don't have to split sets with anybody. And I know that you don't have to do that in a relationship either. Like, the two of you can go your separate ways. It's just different. I just like the freedom of not having to kind of check in with somebody and just do whatever the hell that I want to do. The confidence and courage that I gained from being a single solo raver is phenomenal. Like, I can't really even put it into words how good this makes me feel. I have had so many amazing experiences and have grown so much too as a person, being forced to do these things alone. Now, I do have friends now, and that's something else that I gained from being a single solo raver, is that I have met some of my greatest and bestest friends because I'm a single raver. Like, me and my ex made friends here and there, but not to the extent of friendships and relationships that I've built being on my own, because you're like willing to put yourself more out there. And if somebody like sees you by yourself at a festival, like a group will even, like, that's how I made my friends at my first festival I ever went to. Like 20 minutes in, this group saw me by myself. They're like, come hang with us. And it's easier to meet people. And yeah, I've made some of my bestest friends because of being a single solo raver. Now, the downside of it is that I never know who's gonna come with me to things. You know, for a while I did so many things alone just because, like, the friends that I did have didn't want to go, or they don't have the money. And sometimes that even still happens now. So anytime I want to go to a festival or an event or a show, I don't know if anybody's coming with me or who's coming with me if anybody does come. Like, I have my immediate group of friends that I always ask to do things, and we do a lot together. But yeah, not everybody can go to everything. But I'm fine doing things alone. But it was nice having not even a question about who's doing what with you, because your partner will do everything with you. And another downside of it is, like, as fun and as liberating as it is to be a single solo raver, it can also be really scary though. In any place, any festival, any city, any state, any country, is that I'm alone. And I have to constantly be aware of my surroundings and making sure that people have good intentions and that nobody's trying to take care of me. Like, I'm having to watch out for myself. So that is just something that comes with it, but I'm not gonna let that stop me from going out there and living my life. I can't live in fear, so I don't. I just take a different set of precautions when I am single solo raving. And I do have a festival coming up that I'm going completely solo to in another country. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so you can see how I take care of myself when I'm single solo raving in another country. Overall, there are so many good things and not so many bad things really to both single raving and raving in a relationship. I think both are equally special and have so many upsides and positive things to them and very little downside. So I've seen couples that are raving together and make it work and are madly in love and want to do this for the rest of their life together. And then I have other people that one person's a raver and the other person doesn't, but they still have an amazing relationship and they're going to do this for life and make it work. So I know that it can go both ways. I've been raving with a person and a raving single. I've yet to experience being with somebody that isn't in the rave world, but willing to expand and explore, because raving isn't the most important thing in a partner that I'm looking for. If they are, amazing, great, we'll see. But that isn't the number one criteria that was on my list of things a man should have, like it used to be for so long. But yeah, I'm open to the possibilities. We'll see what the universe has in store for me. But thank you guys for watching another video, and let me know your thoughts down in the comment. Are you a raver in a relationship? Are you a raver that isn't with a raver? How's that dynamic? And if you are single, do you want a rave bae or do you care? Like, what is it? Let's talk about it. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.